Hey, I'm Jenn Wallace, and this podcast is here to talk to business owners, and we're sharing thoughts, experience, all about culture, team connection, and leadership. I'm a change maker, and I'm here to change your business. So without further ado, let's get into the podcast. G'day, Keith.
G'day, Jenny. How are you?
Great. How are you going?
All the better for seeing you.
Oh, you handsome devil. I'm trying to break the ice and so you don't blush so much on the camera.
It's just hard when I'm looking at someone so gorgeous. So.
Oh, geez, mate. Thank you for coming along to the couch. How good are this couch?
Very comfy, aren't they?
I know.
But thank you for having me and inviting me along.
Yeah, well, I wanted to share your journey and how we've been working together, I feel really successfully, because you saw a need, well, I'm interpreting for you, you saw a need in your business for something extra. It wasn't just you by yourself. And we've been working together about 12 months now, nearly a year.
Yeah,
yeah.
we've got
had a lovely
blossoming relationship, don't we?
My husband will get jealous if you keep talking like this.
Watch out.
And your wife will get jealous too, right?
No, she's all right.
I know, she's lovely.
Yeah.
And so, Keith, for you, Brisbane City Pest Control, where was that born from? How did that happen for you?
Well, I was working for like multinational. I could also work for my father, but what probably did it for me was like working for these multinationals and seeing the lack of care when it come to like other small businesses owners and husband and wife teams, and just seeing the neglect and there's no care factor. And that kind of what did it for me. So I was like, I think I can make a positive change here. And instead of treating them just as a customer, it was just treating them for who they are.
Building a relationship
and
with
building
them.
a relationship, and then just making that point of difference. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And how long have you been in business for yourself for?
About 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a ride.
It sure has.
Definitely harder than I thought it was going to be. Yeah.
Yeah. So work-life balance is more challenging when you're on your own?
Yeah, just like probably the whole starting a business and the whole thing was overwhelming. And then, because it's easy to become a business owner, but no one's actually there to teach you how to be a business owner either, like to run a business. So, it's been a good journey, but it's definitely been easier now since I've had wonderful support from you. So.
Oh, thank you, Keith. And also hiring Mariah. We've promoted her, you know that. She's executive assistant.
We did, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been wonderful. She's been a great asset, actually.
Yeah. At what point did you decide you needed that support, that extra employee? Because small business, I work with sole traders, and they're at a point where how do I move to that next step? When? Financially, emotionally, spiritually, wearing all the hats. At what point, what was the turning point for you when you decided you needed it? Probably
falling asleep at my laptop, and I used to be woken up by the message. She's like, you're coming to bed? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be there. And then, like, you lose all your nights with your family, and then you don't watch, your family grow on that. So that was a big contributing factor. And then, like, I find it overwhelming too. So, like, when I used to answer the phone, it was like I had no phone adequacy. I was like, yeah, what do you want? Like, yeah, $300, mate. Like, you want to book this in? Or, like, I'd miss phone calls, and then I just wouldn't bother calling them back because I didn't want to deal with that. And, like, I'm not office savvy. Like, I'm good as a tradesperson, but not a office person. So it was just the right timing, and, like, I knew, like, we needed someone to really make a go of it. So.
And what does a go of it look like for you? What does that mean for you?
Well, before we put Mariah on, like, we had the interview with Mariah, and I was like, look, I'm going to give this another 12 months because, like, I'm getting over it. Like, it's not growing, it's not happening. Like, I'm not reaching what I set out to do with the business. And then, since we put her on, like, everything I had planned and that really come to tuition and gave it a good hard crack. So, yeah.
That's awesome. And so then you've got Mariah in the business. What did you then, how did you build a trust? That's the part, because that's key, right? How do you do that? How do you build a trust when you've just put someone on? Yes, it's through a friend, but they're working in their home.
Yeah.
You're not walking in the office watching, how do you build a trust? Is it through accountability or?
Well, to be fair, like I don't think I even had a job role anyway for her.
She had to make it up, right?
Yeah, she had to build her job role. So that was she was already off to a hard start. Like I didn't make it easy for her. But in saying that, it was like, I remember working for people and like, they'd want KPIs and like constantly micromanaged and all that type of thing. And if I was going to be a boss, I didn't want to feel like you're under the thumb. Like you need to have like it all set out, like deadlines and stuff. So I was just like, here's the phone, here's the laptop. Someone calls you, just answer it.
No wonder the girl had anxiety.
Work it out. Yeah, no wonder. Just work it out as you go, and if you need me, give me a call. We'll catch up every fortnight for a coffee. But really, it was just I had trust anyway. So like, from meeting her, and like we got on really well, and I was super awkward and full of anxiety. So I was like, well, she wants to have a job, like let's just give it to her. And yeah, she like the proof's in the pudding though. She did it herself. Like, I just knew like if I had work on the calendar, obviously she's doing what she needs to do. So
yeah, well, that was the main thing, wasn't it? So the productivity was the way that trust was built, right?
That's right. So
it's
if
not
I had work, I knew that she was
booking the phone calls in. Yeah. So you're right. Sometimes people don't always work best with KPIs. For me, how I help businesses is you see the productivity from the team, right? So if their output is achieving the success, obviously they are working hard, but do you also feel that it's that connection that you have with your people? So having that communication, because you're a really good communicator. Yeah. Do you think that's part of it as well?
I think definitely communication has been the biggest thing for us. But then just being open and honest, and it's not like there's no stigma either. It's like, oh, I've got to talk to the boss. And like I remember I used to have to dread that, and I never ever wanted that in my business. I just want to be everyone on the same level because we're all equal at the end of the day. So just give us a call if you need something. Cool. If you don't know something, let me know. Because if I don't know, we'll figure it out together.
I love that. So that's how you made her feel safe, right?
Yeah.
That she can ask you.
She made a mistake, I make a mistake. So there was no like, oh, you made a mistake, like get a written warning. There was none of that. We just pushed through, put a procedure in place, and let's do it better next time. But
so you problem solve together? You do
all the
work
time.
through?
Yeah, bring her up. I've got an issue, and she's like, all right, well, let's work this out. And yeah, that's what we do.
And her experience from coming from a family-owned business, do you feel that did bring another level for you into your business?
Oh, yeah, because like I had no idea about business. I knew I needed an invoicing program because I wanted to be paid. But other than that, I didn't know anything about structures or like work health and safety or any of that stuff. And like after like a week or two, she's like, oh, you should really do this. I'm like, oh, yeah, well, let's do that. Yeah, so she brought a whole box of chocolates to the table that I wasn't even ready for. And like it's been awesome because without Mariah, Brisbane City Pest Control wouldn't be where it is today.
Oh, that's beautiful. She'd cry, I reckon, if she heard you say that.
Probably.
Yeah. She's a good
She'd be
crier.
a hot mess, wouldn't she?
Yeah, she would. And so from that, you've forged a really wonderful friendship as well, haven't you? So, you know, I heard her husband and you have a bit of a bromance.
Oh, yeah. I let him beat me in golf every second Sunday. So.
Every second Sunday?
Yeah, every second Sunday.
You have matching shirts or something?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
We're
that's the Christmas present.
Yeah.
Brisbane City Pest golf shirts.
Yeah. Well, he's in my phone as the golfing god.
Golfing god?
Yeah.
Is that what he calls himself?
No, that's what I call him.
Is he teaching you a thing or two?
Yeah, he's got all the gear. No idea. So.
That's a good one. And are you finding now, because you have got Mariah in the business and your procedures, because that was really one of the things when we started, you were aware that procedures and following them were really important and that she was able to put that structure in. Do you feel that has given you back some time for your family? Because I know that was a really big priority. Your family is first, right?
Yeah.
So having the time at night instead of falling asleep in front of the laptop and your beautiful wife, not your misso, your beautiful wife, waking you up and prompting you. You're actually doing things with the kids now when you get home after work. Is that
So
has that been happening?
with those procedures that she implemented and we worked together on, like I don't spend a lot of time in the office anymore.
Great.
And she's like, oh, you should go get an iPad. It's like, oh, okay. Go get one of these. And that's taken heaps of pressure off again. So, like, I probably only spend through a week maybe 5 hours in the office.
Fantastic.
If that. So, most of it's done on the road. And, sometimes I get a bit lazy, though. But,
What, you procrastinate?
Yeah, I do. And then I get a phone call the next day, where's my report skis? I'm like, they're coming. I forgot.
So she's making you accountable now?
So she makes me accountable as well,
Yeah.
Holds my hand.
The good one?
Yeah.
So do you find now that you've given her such autonomy in her role as well, that she's really owned it and growing it into this fantastic space? Do you feel that has, that's empowered her, you giving her that autonomy to make decisions on your behalf?
I reckon so. I'm just giving her the room to grow. So, like, she's grown into the role. She's blossomed. Like, she gets free reign, whatever she thinks is.
And so the trust is there, right?
The trust is there,
Yeah. And I know when we started, we did an org chart, and we're going to, through that and her development, she's actually going to end up not just being admin. We've already given her promotion with executive assistant, but, being an operational manager. I love that you're supporting her, and that's the vision for the business down the track. Yeah,
it come quite apparent to me quite early though. Like it wasn't like I didn't really have to think about it, because like after a couple of months I was like, like I'd hate to waste so much potential in what she brings as well. So I was like, I think she'd work optimal at something higher, looking after a team and being the boss bitch. So,
That's our theme, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that energy.
Yeah.
So I know when we worked together in the beginning, there were some boundaries for you that, you were letting clients push you around and dictating for you how they wanted the service done. That made an impact on you with my scenario of boss bitch energy. I still can't believe Anyway, that is part of what I do. I love that, and it's not about being rude or offensive. It's having that assertiveness and the confidence, right?
That's it. And I think for a long time, because every customer you got at that stage was be all end all too. Like at the end of the day, I was under the pump. I wanted to make sure I could pay the wages, and I just wanted to make it work. But then learning over time, it's like, it's okay to put healthy boundaries in place, and if they're going to be rude, let's move them on and be rude back, and don't let people bully you.
Yeah.
Either. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's I do.
We don't have if it doesn't work, it's okay. We'll just go find someone else. And
pick the right clientele that fits in with your values of your business.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you have a vision and mission statement for your business?
I do. I can't remember.
I knew you were going to say that. Every time we talk about it, we can never remember what it is.
Yeah.
Right, that goes on the agenda for Friday, right?
But the values was the starting one was family.
Yes.
Because I think I'd like to create a family team environment, your second family. Another one was honesty. It should be all open book. One was curiosity, always seeking for more. What was the other one? Can't remember now. But
Three's
there's a couple. There was 3 or 4 of them. So.
And curiosity is one. I've been listening to some other podcasts as well, and I hadn't really, we use it, we throw it around, everyone goes, be curious. Asking questions is so important, and I've discovered that owning my own, running my own business and seeking to understand and really asking the right questions and some impactful questions. And I know when we work together, quite often when I ask you a question, I hadn't really thought about that. And quite often these questions, they're not prepared, right? They're just, we'll be having a conversation, ask a question, and from that we might have, and it's not that we're going to solve all the problems of the business, but come up with an aspect or a strategy. Would you agree that that's how we sort of work together.
You ask the question, then it gets me curious about it. But then it's not you're giving me the answers either, because anyone can give you an answer. You ask the question, I come back with what I think needs to be done, and then you question me again on it, and then I got to put it into place. And then once I think I figured it out, you'd be like, all right, this is what you could do. Yeah.
It's awesome. And one of the things from how we've worked together, what would be a nugget, not a chicken nugget, a gold nugget of advice for people that own a small business or have an employee or thinking about an employee? What would be some advice you'd like to impart?
Oh, I reckon one would get a business coach.
Yeah, like me, right?
Definitely, because I was a bit skeptical about business coaches to start with. I was like, oh, how are they going to coach me how to be a business owner? I think that's one of them.
Yeah.
And then two is, before getting an employee, I'd think about like how you were treated as an employee yourself. Employee?
Employee.
Yeah, employee. Think about your own personal experiences before you're putting someone on. And then once you do it, then really emphasize like what we do is like reinvest in personal and professional development, because everyone's seeking more. It's not just like rock up, do whatever you do and then go home. It's like making people feel valued and want to come to work and be a part of it.
I love that.
Because if they are, then they'll help your business grow.
Absolutely. So I started off, my catchphrase was, I help small, medium business increase their revenue and team connection through exactly that, through I can't even remember what I was going to say now. It was a year ago, right? But I do remember that it was about retaining staff and increasing your profits through team connection and strong leadership skills, which is something that I'm still very passionate about. A culture is a big thing for me. So, when you talk about family, that for me is culture.
Yeah.
Business culture, organisation culture, however you call it. But that's definitely, having a work family is so important. And it can be two people, right?
Yeah.
But then it affects your other family, your external family and your friendship groups when you're happy. And then you obviously all bring each other in together.
Yeah. Most definitely.
I love that. Yeah, but definitely engage a business consultant,
definitely
right?
a business coach and really focus on developing staff. Because I think that's one thing that annoyed me working for people was like, I probably would have been a better employee if people actually reinvested into me and making it, building skills and that, instead of just being a number sitting on a seat, just getting shit done.
Do you think extended DIS, the e-DIS we did, do you think that's a useful tool for business owners as well?
Oh, 100%. I think because then you get a good idea how the team's running, and how everyone operates, so then you can set your managing skills to suit.
Yeah.
So if you've got someone who'd rather have it in detail sent by an email, that might get the best out of them, or someone who wants more connection and talking to, that type of way. So
I love it. You learnt so much from our e-DIS sessions.
It's just like little tools for the tool belt,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it all helps. And you got to have an open mind to it instead of thinking you know everything.
Absolutely. And I know for me, I'm so glad that I did do the accreditation so that I could add it to my repertoire. I don't use it with every client, but having it there as an offering is really important, because it can give – some people want that. They want to look at a report or they want to see data and actually explain more about themselves rather than just being intuitive, what they already know. And then building that base, having that report. So for you and Mariah, we did that and we looked, okay, this is why Mariah likes it this way, and you speak in, your communication style is this way, and what motivates each other as well.
Yeah, 100%. And I think one thing when we were looking for that next employee was to have someone who would fit the mold. And we felt too popular, too popular kids at school. We don't want to have some loser coming along and disrupting things.
Yes.
But I think if I had my time again hiring, that would be something I implement as a hiring process, would be putting that e-DIS learning in and getting the full view of the person before they start, whether it's going to be a good fit or not. Having a more educated decision than going off a piece of paper and an interview. So
I love that. I look forward to doing that.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you so much for our chat, Keith.
No worries, Jen. Thank
Love
you.
joining you on the plush
couch.
couches.
Nice, isn't it?
It's lovely.
Lovely.
And again, thank you for, allowing me to be part of your team. I do feel part of the team with you with Brisbane City Pest Control. You need another B in there.
Yeah, we do. With the bee's knees.
Very good.
Yeah.
We don't kill bees. We attract bees.
We attract them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
not pests, right?
No, the birds and the bees, yeah.
Thank you, Keith.
No worries. Thank you for having me, Jen.
You're welcome. Ciao.
Ciao.